Arsenal get done by VAR early on and get done by Vardy very late on. Welcome to Talk Football. My name is Tinashe. I'm your host with the most, and I am joined this evening, morning, lunchtime, wherever you are, as ever by my hosts, Shabs and Nabi. So it's taken me a while because this is gonna be, I feel like, a really emotional pod for me. So starting with you, Nabi, mate, how you doing?
I'm okay. I'm fine.
Good, good. How about you, Shabs?
Yeah, all good. Had a good weekend. So, yeah, getting ready to get started on the pod.
Good, good. And as last week, we're joined for the post-match or post-weekend pod. We've got a special guest this evening, Corin. How's it going, mate?
Yes, I'm alright. Good to be back for the concluding part of my special guest appearance. Be able to chuck it on the CV after this episode, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. To be fair, I was thinking as well last time when I was listening that you managed to get it out to the world that you are pretty dominant in terms of fantasy football. So I guess that's also one tick off the bucket
Ah, yeah,
list.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess as usual, we'll put our socials into the description, so please we'll have them in the show notes. So please make sure you follow, you subscribe, and you interact. So I guess diving straight into it, we'll have a look at the predictions that the guys and myself gave in over the weekend, and starting with the Liverpool Sheffield game. Corin, you went 4-2 to Liverpool, and Trent
Yeah.
Alexander-Arnold as your player to watch, but he got 1 point, I think, because I've got him in my team this game week. And Shabs, you went 2-0. Salah, your player to watch. Did you do anything?
He just got 2 points. Oh.
Nabi, you went 4-1 to Liverpool. Robertson, your player to watch. Did you do anything?
No, nothing.
So,
And I went 3-2 to Liverpool. And Mane is my player to watch.
2 assists for
Yeah.
Mane.
Yeah, so yeah, it's pretty decent actually. And looks like in terms of that, we still haven't worked out like a scoring scheme for this, but we'll get to it. On that point, we would have all at least say gotten a point for the correct score. None of us
Result.
got the result.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, the correct result.
No,
None of us
correct
got
result.
the score. Yeah. And moving on to the Arsenal Leicester game. Corin, you went 2-1, and Bellerin is your player to watch. 2-1 to
2-1
Arsenal.
Arsenal. What's
Yep.
that?
Shabs, you went 2-2, and Barnes, your player to watch. Nabi, you went 3-2 to Leicester, and Maddison.
Oh,
your
now
player
we got
to
it
watch.
right.
Yeah. And I went 2-1 to Arsenal, and Saka, my player to watch. So I guess Nabi
Cool.
will be leading on that one. And finally, the United Chelsea game. Corin went 3-2 to United, and Hernandez is his Fernandez, sorry, as his player to watch. And obviously that was a 0-0 draw. Shabs, you went 3-3. So you got the
I got the result.
Yeah.
I got the result.
Nabi, you went 2-1 United with Rashford, your player to watch, and then I didn't also. I then went Chelsea 3-2 with Pulisic, my player to watch, but obviously that didn't happen.
So it's a draw this weekend between me
you
and
and
Nabi.
Nabi, yeah, essentially, it is. Yeah, I guess just to going straight into it, we'll go into the Liverpool Sheffield game. Shabs, if you could let us know your thoughts on the team, the lineup, and also if there was any sort of anything that you wanted to call out on the
Talk about.
performance.
Yeah. So first and foremost, the most important thing is Ali is back, Mr. Alisson Becker. I think he was talking about it. He did a press conference for I don't know how you pronounce the name, Michelin game for the Champions League. And he was talking about how the doctors told him 4 to 6 weeks, but he was like, no, I'm going to make sure it's 2 to 3 weeks. So he had that commitment. he's come back, and we needed him basically.
So this is him back until his next injury.
Well, that's how injuries work, Naby. That's how everyone's injuries work.
Mm.
I don't think it's any different for anyone.
But I think I'm not saying he's injury prone, but he often gets an injury, does he not?
Well, he's not been injury prone for a while. Like, it's not known to be injury prone, but since he's come to Liverpool, he's had like little niggles here and there. It's been weird. Funny enough,
Well, Nichols, I keep
Klopp
him out for
mentioned.
for like a month or so. Didn't he have
Yeah,
something
so
last month as well?
so
Last year,
well,
sorry.
his recent injury, yeah, he did early on in the season. He pulled up, but this injury that happened, Klopp mentioned how he had a collision with a player, and he obviously came off worse and got injured. That player was Adrian that he had a collision with.
How are two goalkeepers colliding?
I don't know.
Conspiracy.
But yeah, I heard that that's what it was. Klopp didn't actually initially mention who the other player was. But anyways, so the big thing about that was one big thing. The other big part of that game was we moved to a 4-2-3-1 because we added Jota to the front three. So we had the usual front three of Mane, Firmino, and Salah, and we had Jota as well there, which is what I've always wanted to see.
So Jota was playing
And
as
then
the one.
I think Jota was up top and Firmino just behind, but they
okay.
mixed. So then Jota used to come deep as well. So I think it was kind of fluid, but Mane and Salah were still like the main attackers.
I think Jota's starting to look like a really good signing now.
Yeah,
he
I
is.
have to agree.
He is.
I have to agree.
He's done very well. And then we had a midfield two of Henderson and Gini Wijnaldum, and then we had Fabinho stay in the back line. So no Matip back yet. And I feel like this could be continuing going forward as a Fabinho-Gomez partnership. I think first half, it wasn't great. It seemed like they were still trying to adjust to the 4-2-3-1. It seemed a lot of the problem was normally in the midfield three, there's a pass within the midfield to make like a midfield triangle, whereas in the first half of that game, Henderson will look up and you see all four trying to run in behind the defence and you're constantly having to make the long ball, which is obviously not the easiest thing to do. And I thought Sheffield United were pretty aggressive in the first half as well. To be fair, in the second half as well. But I think in the second half, it adjusted nicely. Klopp mentioned how it was nice to have half time to be able to talk through some of the issues that happened in the first half. And I thought the second half was much better. I thought Salah played pretty well. I thought Jota played well. Great header for the goal. Mane, world class as usual. First chance was a header that rebounded back to Firmino, who's got his first goal of the season. And the second one was a decent cross for Mane down the line and great header from Jota for his second goal of the season. So, yeah, all round decent performance, I thought.
Oh, so you finally realised it's the second goal of the season then?
Yeah, it's the second goal of the season, yeah. First one against Arsenal, Naby.
Yeah,
But I thought it was decent, and I thought Fabinho didn't look as comfortable as he did against Ajax, but he still did well. I still think he has that slight midfield mindset to him. Like the tackle he gave away for the penalty, I would say was a midfielder's tackle rather than like a defender's tackle. A defender wouldn't jump in like that.
He would have stayed on his feet,
just on the line.
Stuck his
he would
leg
have
out.
stayed on his feet and just tried to send him backwards or wherever. Like,
Did he not get the ball though?
He did get the ball.
I mean, that's a bit debatable.
But I still think it's a challenge that a defender wouldn't make. And I thought Gomez now had 2 games in a row where he's looked very assured. And for a 23-year-old, now under pressure, because he's technically our main centre-back now, with Van Dijk out for the season, I thought he's done well in the last 2 games with a pretty young head on his shoulders. So, yeah, all round looking more promising.
Yeah, and I think I said in the last part as well. I think with Gomez as well, I think he is going to get better as well, because obviously at the moment, like
He
you said,
will.
he's still
He'll
he's
also
still young.
continue to have.
He's also going to develop his understanding of the position a lot more, be able to read the game a lot better. So
he's gone into Van Dijk's position sometimes, and then obviously Fabinho's come in. But also, he will have the odd game still where he looks a bit off. But then to be fair, Van Dijk was there when we lost 7-2 to Villa, so we can't put it all down to losing Van Dijk. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So far, we've had a clean sheet, and against a decent, that's probably Sheffield United's best performance so far this season. And it was a penalty goal, so it wasn't like they did it from open play. So I think I think overall they've done well so far. It'll make a lot of difference to have Alisson back in goal. So
What
yeah.
influence did Thiago have?
I was hoping he'd be back, but he's not back. He's not even back for the midweek game, but the chances are he'll be back this coming weekend.
All right.
But he'll definitely be ready for the City game. I think they'll basically look to get him fit for the City game.
And just to touch on that, are you believing Pep's story is that Aguero is not going to be fit for the City game? Or you think that's just mind games? Because we've
No,
already seen it twice now so far in the Premier League. Ancelotti and Mourinho have categorically ruled out players, and then both the players have started that have been ruled out.
I don't see why managers do that so much. Like,
because they know it does to an extent impact how the other team prepares.
Oh yeah, it will. If we know that Aguero's up front compared to preparing for like Sterling up front, it'll make a big difference.
Yeah.
But you know, like he's meant to be out for 2 to 3 weeks, so I think even with that timeline, he could actually be back for the Liverpool game anyways. Even with the timeline that Pep gave, so
he's not 100% fit either. He's not looking at his best.
But he is a player who does get knocks, isn't he? So
yeah.
We'll see.
Fair enough. I'm not sure if there's any more questions from the other guys. No.
Don't have much to say about the Liverpool game. It was just agony the agony for the fantasy managers of a Trent assist for a Salah goal, which was offside.
Oh,
yeah, it was just offside, but great finish though. I don't know if you guys saw it, but
no, I didn't.
He took it on like he took it first touch, and then second touch was like mid-air kick. It was honestly a really good ball and really good finish as well from Salah. It's just a shame that it was actually offside. It wasn't one of those hair whips or like a toenail. This one was actually like visibly offside, which was fine. The VAR decision again, I don't know what to say about it anymore. There's no point really saying much about it. It's just what it is.
I have a lot to say about that as well.
Well, I don't think Arsenal's is any worse than what Liverpool's was. Like, it was
what's with the
so
comparison?
obvious.
I just said I have a lot to say about it. I'm not comparing.
No, because you have a lot to say, but I'm saying no. But what I'm saying is you have a lot to say because it was such a bad decision on the Arsenal game. I'm saying Liverpool's was just as bad, but there's no point in talking about it. Like, I'm fed up of talking about VAR. Really.
There's probably a point to bring up for the United game as well when we get onto that.
Oh, the Harry Maguire obvious penalty.
Yeah, do you know? I was meaning to message you the moment I saw that, Corin, but I completely forgot. I bet you were probably expecting it as well. But yeah, I meant to message you the moment I saw that, but I completely forgot. I can't remember why I ended up getting sidetracked in. But yeah, because the moment I saw that, I was meant to be like, Mings wouldn't have done that. But
one last thing on the VAR thing. What I want to say is, because the referee already gave a foul, VAR's only decision was to check whether it was inside or outside the box, not whether it was even a free kick in the first place. So even though they visibly could see that Fabinho got the ball, their ruling was only down to just basically decide whether it was inside or outside, not whether it was a foul or not, which just doesn't make sense to me. But anyway,
so their ruling was to point out whether it was a clear and obvious error, which it was, and they didn't point out that it was a clear and obvious error.
No, so because the referee gave the foul already, but gave a free kick, all they wanted to check was whether it was inside or outside the box. They weren't checking whether it was actually a foul or not. They purely just looked at whether it was inside or outside the box.
No.
So even though you can see Fabinho get the ball, that wasn't like part of their ruling. That's not in their mindset to look at it. They just wanted to look at the position of when the tackle happened. So
it's almost like once the ref makes a decision, it's a free hit after that, essentially, because it's kind of going back to the Pickford thing last weekend where the ruling was offside, and then after that you can do whatever you want. You know, you can drop kick someone, you can suplex someone, RKO. It's all alright, you know.
Yeah, sure. You know, what can we say about it? I'm just hoping like at some point it'll go the other way and we'll get some decision, but you know, might not work out like that. But at the moment,
I would say it worked in your favor a lot last season. So this is probably you now getting a little bit.
That's the myth. It didn't work in our favor a lot.
Sure.
Overall, I think we gained maybe like 2-3 points max. you'd be surprised. It just became a thing when it actually wasn't really happening
It
that
was
way.
a thing. A lot of Salah divers are getting given penalties.
That's
Yeah.
all subjective, that is. But anyways, moving on.
Subjectivity. Right. So, yeah. I guess now moving to the Arsenal Leicester game. Yeah, I'll let you guys chip in if any of you guys have anything to say first.
Well, how much? How
Ozil would have
much are
made a
you?
difference.
Yeah,
I'll
Ozil
speak
would have
at
made it.
once.
How much are you putting on that VAR decision?
Well, goals change games, don't they? That's a fact. But then at the same time, even after that decision, for me personally, we still had the chances to score goals to put the game away, and we didn't. So as much as I can say, I'm really annoyed that we had the decision go against us. We still had chances after that to score, um, which we didn't. I guess getting into it personally, I was happy with the formation. On paper, I was happy when I saw it on paper, but then when I saw it on the pitch, I wasn't happy. Because I don't know if you guys, you guys wouldn't have watched the game because it was pay-per-view, but on the pitch, the way you had it was you had the four at the back, and then you had when we had the ball, you had the flat three across midfield with Partey central, and then essentially Xhaka and Ceballos acting as the right and left back, if you will, with because I guess this is one of the point that I was making about Partey, that having him in the team allowed us to have both our fullbacks for the first time under Arteta pushed up into the final third of the opposition. Um, but obviously Arteta, being cautious about the Leicester's counter attack, he then put Ceballos and Xhaka um, in the positions that the wing backs vacated, which I personally didn't understand, because if you're gonna put players to stop a counter attack, you want fast players, and he put probably, I think last year, two of the most dribbled past players in the Premier League, Xhaka and Ceballos. He put them out wide, and they genuinely looked like they were playing with Timberlands on yesterday. On Sunday, sorry, because they were so slow. Because funnily enough, set up to stop a counter attack, and that's how we lose the game over on a counter attack. But yeah, I wasn't happy with the way he deployed. I was happy the fact that he went 4-3-3, but I wasn't happy with the variation of the 4-3-3 that he went with, because essentially it just left Partey in the middle, and then another thing which irritated me a lot. But this I don't know if I can put down to Arteta, whether it's players getting used to Partey, but I think with about 15 minutes to go, there was someone who tweeted. I can't remember the Twitter account. It's really annoying actually. But um, Xhaka had I think just over 100 passes that he'd made. Thomas Partey had I think 51. So we essentially missed. If even if you watch the game, to be honest, you see there are points where Thomas Partey is visibly getting irritated because they're not passing the ball to him, and his strength is taking the ball under pressure, turning, driving through the midfield. We didn't exploit that at all. At all. We just completely bypassed midfield by going out wide. Essentially like a horseshoe shape, like a U. Goes up the wing, comes back to Xhaka at left back, goes across centre backs, goes back up the right, comes back, and literally you'd have Thomas Partey in the middle showing for the ball, showing, and no one would be passing to him. The few times that we did pass to him, um, made a couple of good passes to Hector Bellerin over the top, and even a couple of good first time passes to Lacazette as well. But that's another topic
And
that we
actually,
could.
do you think it would have been better if you had some sort of, I don't know, like some sort of assist king or something who could have fed the ball to Partey?
Well, no, because Partey wouldn't have been.
Arsenal have an assist king
The
in
thing
there,
is,
not in their squad, but
Partey wouldn't. It's not like Partey was getting at the end of anything like that, but with him, he wasn't getting the ball. He was the ball. It's not like there were difficult passes that he was. It was literally a 10-yard pass, 15-yard pass, no one in front of him, but he wasn't getting the ball. Like it's not like you would want. It's one of those. If you'd given me the ball in some of the positions that the players were in, I would have been able to pass to Partey. It's not one where you need someone with a special kind of eye or a special kind of pass or anything like that. You just needed someone.
Or a very special set of eyes.
Yeah, you just needed someone who could just simply just pass a ball, which all of our centre backs and midfield could do. But for some reason, they were bypassing Partey. But I again, that one I can't entirely put down to Arteta, because it could just be the fact that the players aren't comfortable with him yet. And they probably will as the weeks go by. But for me, that was one of probably the most frustrating thing, that we weren't penetrating Leicester at all, really. And if you notice in the second half, David Luiz came on. I think he went off maybe 47th, 48th minute. He like literally came on for a few minutes, and then he sat down. Muscle injury in his thigh, came off, and then that literally killed our attack, because a lot of the balls that were getting us in behind, can you believe it was our centre back, David Luiz, who'd get the ball and then he would just literally ping them over the top to Tierney, to Bellerin constantly. And that's how Tierney was able to get a lot of good balls in. Bellerin was able to get a few, one or two decent ones in as well. So once he came off, yeah, everyone just kind of looked lost. And like I was saying, like we weren't playing to parties. This is the thing that's, I guess, now for me starting to irritate me now. At first, it was like, okay, cool. He was still getting the goals from left wing, but at the moment, Aubameyang is not getting the goals from left wing. Lacazette isn't really play. He may be scoring, but if I'm honest, he's not playing well. Um, and it's now for me got to the time where it's like, okay, you can't now keep arguing for Lacazette to keep playing down the center, because it's just not working. And now it's gotten to the point where Aubameyang is now starting to play badly on the left hand side. So it's, for me,
Did
it's now
So
you?
what would you have as your front three then,
my front
if you
three.
could?
My front three would be Saka, Pepe, Saka, Aubameyang, and Pepe. My issue with Arteta is Arteta. One thing I think I'm starting to realize and not like, he's a bit of a control freak. He likes everything done to the absolute decimal point, which is very similar to Pep. He doesn't leave a lot of room for the creative, like with Pepe, right? He's the type of player that out of 10 times he'll probably lose the ball 8 times, but he'll give you those 2 moments which are absolutely out of this world. I was listening to a podcast, I think it was Arsenal Vision podcast, and they were talking about this. They gave it a great example where they're saying that Arteta wouldn't have played Sanchez in his prime at Arsenal, because Sanchez is that type of player, very similar to Pepe. He likes to take players on. He's very unpredictable in what he's going to do. Whereas Arteta likes to have that structure of, you do this when he has the ball, you go there. But then the problem is, especially with Arsenal at the moment, there's no variation. It's very predictable. Like what Leicester did, they essentially just came, literally classic. I think any manager now that comes to the Emirates who's not either any of the big teams would literally just come and just do exactly what Leicester did. Just sit at the back, and then the last half an hour, bring on your striker, and then just go gung ho, and you will most likely get a goal. Because with Arsenal, if you if you mark Aubameyang out the game on the left hand side, that's pretty much it. That's it. The only person who was breaking lines, being a little bit creative, was Saka, and obviously he took a
Did,
knock.
did you not say in your pre-match tweet that Saka was going to be starting from the left?
Yeah, he did. Well, no, sorry. I
So
thought he would. I thought he would have been starting from the left, but I don't know why. Because no, I thought he would be starting from the right and Aubameyang from the left. Sorry, because Aubameyang always starts from the left, cuts in, shoots, and it would have made sense to have Saka starting on the right, cut in on his left, and shoot. I think with Aubameyang, every time when he's played from the right hand side, he's expected goals is like 0.0 something. I could be 0.01 or so, or 0.1. I could be making that up, but I think it is in and around that, which is really really low for him. So I don't know what Arteta looked at or what he thought, oh, this would be a good idea to play Aubameyang here because it's worked in this game. Because as long as he's been at Arsenal, it's never worked him playing at the right hand side. It's never. Emery tried it, never worked. So yeah, I don't understand what his thinking and what his logic was. And I also saw Martin Keown made a really good point, but with that, I will give Arteta a little bit of rope in the sense that this was his first game with Partey, so it was fair enough. But Martin Keown made the point that if he's not careful, or essentially his quote was, he's doing exactly what Emery was doing in the sense that one game we're playing three at the back, the next game we've got four at the back, the game after he was constantly changing systems. Whereas this time with Arteta, like I said, it's the first game that Partey's properly played, so it's fair enough. Went for the back, which is what I think he wants to do. But I think he just needs to let the attackers go. We're called the Gunners. We're not anything but at the moment. I think only thing we're not using our big gun strikes to our advantage. Aubameyang not using his pace at all, and he's spending more time because I saw another stat as well. Which Aubameyang, no player made more tackles than Aubameyang, and I think it was like at halftime or something like that, which is not what you want your striker to be doing. If I was to ask you guys to guess, how many shots do you think Aubameyang has had this season so far in the Premier League?
7.
Based
Eight.
on what I've seen, yeah.
8 in total.
Do you-
We didn't all
Duh.
guess.
Yeah, wow. You took too long. 8. Yeah.
I got a stat for you. Arsenal as a whole team have the same amount of goals as Heung-min Son on his
Goals,
own
not
this
gons.
season.
Goals, not
Gons.
gons.
Goals.
Yeah.
Yeah, goals.
That's the same with Man City as well.
Shocking, isn't it? Really.
It's coming down to the
No.
point that I'm making, that in the sense that phase one for Arsenal, I kind of feel is done. Arteta had to come in and shore up our defenses. I think this league we're the top 3 or top 4 best defenses in the league, and one of the best since Arteta has come in. That seems to be shored up now. We now need to start focusing on phase 2, which is the midfield attack, because that's where it's almost like he's put too much emphasis on defending. The attackers now, we're spending more time defending than attacking, because yes, Aubameyang's fast, but if you're counter-attacking and he's at left back, we're counter-attacking down the right. By the time he gets up there, he could be knackered, etc., etc. Whereas just have him play as close to the goal as possible down the middle. And
But one thing I would say to that is, yes, he's shored up the defense, but it's not as simple as just focusing on the attack now. Because the reason he shored up the defense is because he puts so many people behind the ball and has a structure of 4 or 5 or whatever he's always had, and he keeps a regimented structure.
5 lanes.
The
of
problem
defense.
is once you start opening up the attack, you're gonna have occasions, or a lot of occasions, where you're gonna leave 3-on-3. And I don't know if he's ready to trust his defense yet to leave like a 3-on-3 or a 2-on-2.
To that I can
And then at that point, the goals might open up again. So it is difficult to then go, okay, we've sorted out the defense. Now we just sort out the attack and both will just happen. I think it's still going to be a slow process. And I still think he needs recruitment in the defense in order to fix that issue.
I do agree with you, because I don't know if you remember a few pods ago, I was mentioning that I do feel the way the recruitment is going, it looks like he's going to adopt the same system in terms of the back as Liverpool, in the sense that you play a high line, and at Liverpool you've got your the whole of your back four extremely athletic, can get up and down the pitch, so you can afford to leave your defenders one-on-one, because if it's Aubameyang, you've got the players that can run to keep up with Aubameyang. If that was just like whoever, you've got players that can get back, who are athletic enough to get up and down. Whereas Arsenal at the moment, we've got Gabriel, but then if you saw how the goal was conceded, Xhaka got done in. how do you pronounce? I'll just call him under. He went in, which classic, very very simple run. He went in, uh, which made it look like he was going to receive the ball short. Spun Xhaka, went in behind Xhaka. The ball from Tillemans over the top, and he was through. Which then meant Gabriel had to go across and cover Xhaka because Xhaka is slow as anything. And you then had Mustafi, who'd also came on. To be fair, I have a bit of sympathy for Mustafi because he looked like he was still not 100%. Even when he was running, he was limping, so he couldn't get back to help Gabriel cover. So you literally had Vardy in the middle of the box with an open goal by himself, literally by himself. The only thing I would say that's annoying to that, there's a clip where you see Gabriel shouting at Mustafi, telling him to come closer and watch Vardy spacing behind, and Mustafi doesn't move at all. So yeah, I do accept what you're saying. To be fair, I can't be too harsh on him for the defensive side of it, because he probably would like another centre back in the similar mold to Gabriel, someone who can get up and down, someone who is athletic, and also someone who's good one on one. Because, like I mentioned about with Liverpool defenders, your defenders are pretty good one on one as well. So yeah, but at the same
So
time,
what you're saying is you need a Twanzebe.
no, you can keep him.
He's too injury prone.
Yeah, we just I don't know. There's a lot of questions that I have that I would like
What
to ask
does
Ateta.
what does Xhaka bring to the team?
That for me, I would say he was. You could have argued our progressor, but now with Partey in, we've got someone who can do it a lot better than Xhaka, like 1,000 times better than Xhaka. Not even just in the sense of passing the ball, but Partey can dribble with the ball as well. Because there's an interview, I think it was last year, of Simeone when he was it was during the Champions League game and they were talking about Partey, and then a quote that I picked up from him, he was like, Partey doesn't lose the ball. If you give him the ball, he will protect the ball and recycle it. So yeah, for me that's one where I think Arteta needs to sit down, speak to the group, and find a way to fully utilize Partey and Aubameyang, because we can't keep going like this in terms of this, attacking. The fact that we had 11 shots on and like 8 on target or something, the most we've had in any half under Arteta. And then second half, we just died. We had one shot second half. So yeah, it's where we're at home as well. This is kind of the things where, yeah, we were happy with the initial phase in terms of him Arteta coming in, winning the trophy, again, I should probably reiterate, I'm not saying that, you shouldn't really have to caveat with this anyway, but I'm not saying Arteta out, but I am just questioning some of the decisions that he's making now, because I don't personally think that they're good for the team. Um, and yeah, I do feel, like I said before, he does need to sort of relax a little bit, because I feel he's too controlling, in the
He's
sense.
he's always he's always on the touchline, like
Yeah.
trying to get things around, isn't
Yeah, he's way too controlling. So yeah, again, one of the biggest myths for me, like I said, is you're trying to stop a counter attack and then you play two really slow players right and left in terms of Dani Ceballos and Granit Xhaka. When on the right hand side you could have potentially deployed what's his name, Ainsley Maitland-Niles. Very athletic, can get up and down, a good user of the ball as well. So yeah, I don't see why he thought Dani Ceballos would be a better fit. Because essentially you're putting those two players against Chelsea's sprinters. They're runners, they're up and down men. You're putting Ceballos and Xhaka against those. But at the same time, in saying all that, I will say that the in finishing off from my part, like I said, I could go on, but Nabi's told me that I have to keep to a strict, and I think I've already gone over now as well. Um, yeah, it is say concerned? No.
Worried?
Worried, yeah. It is. I am starting to worry a bit. I think last time I did say, like, I'm just starting to have a few concerns that I'm just bubbling underneath. Um, but it could it could simply just be down to the fact that Arteta still isn't fully comfortable with the defense. Like Shabs was saying, it's not just a matter of you turn a tap on. Just because you focus on defense, you turn a tap on, now the goals come flooding in, you're scoring left, right, and center, and you're defending really well as well. So it might be, personally, I do trust the process, but I still, that still doesn't mean that you can't question, you can't have thoughts on what the manager's doing. Do you guys have anything you want to say, or any questions?
I've got 1 point. If anyone else hasn't got any,
When you go,
anyone else got anything?
I've got a final cue
my
I'll
point.
do after yours.
Okay. My point. My point was that I know Arteta's done well to sort the defense and stuff, but I think also he seems to have issues in trusting the attack because he's near enough changing the front three every game. I know Ober's near enough. Ober's a mainstay, and that's quite obvious. I don't think it needs, the managerial abilities of Arteta to know that. I think anyone would put Ober as a mainstay in the front three, but he's constantly changing it, and I feel like your front three. I know like Lacazette had a bad game, and then Williams have had as quiet games and stuff. But sometimes I feel like you gotta work out your best front three, put them in their three best positions, and just go with it. And there might be a couple of games where it's a bit quiet, it's a bit off, but you got to keep at it because there's a partnership in a rhythm and a fluidity that is built similar to like a centre back pairing. They might have start off a bit rusty, a few issues here, there, a bit positioning issue. But as the partnership builds, the trust builds, there's an instinct that's built, and I feel like he needs to allow that for the front three as well. And I feel like changing that near enough every single game is not helping at all for Arsenal.
I completely agree. And like I said, for me, in terms of talent wise, our best front three, like I said, is Saka on the right, on the left. Sorry, Aubameyang down the middle, and Pepe on the left. But Arteta, like I said, if you see Pepe, 1 week he starts, 1 week he comes on for 15 minutes, 1 week he comes on for 5 minutes, another week he starts. For me, I think I've said before, Pepe is the type of player that he needs to start, and he's the type of player that, as a manager, you need to put your arm around him and make him feel important, and boost his confidence up. Whereas the signing of Willian, giving him a contract this window, regardless what Arteta might say, if I'm Pepe, if Arteta sits down with me and says, "Oh, you're really important," blah blah blah, I'm like, yeah, but you just signed a player in my position. Like, you may be saying all of this, but your actions are suggesting otherwise. Suggest you don't trust me enough to be playing me week in, week out in that position. I do get it. I'm one of Pepe's biggest critics, that in that he is really frustrating. But like I said, he'll be frustrating and lose the ball 8 times. But then you will have those moments, 2 moments, where it could potentially win you the game or earn you some points in the game, or whichever. And I guess comes down to what you're saying, Shabs. Even looking at Pepe and the two players that link up the most for goals is Pepe and Aubameyang. The closer these guys play together, for me, the better. It can only get better for Arsenal. And then obviously having Saka coming in from the left hand side as well. Yeah, again, that's just more class in that. But Adam, it's taking a lot for me to stop myself from ranting. I'm not even kidding you.
Yeah. Well, just last question, John. Then you glad you paid for it?
Well, it's neither here or there for me, isn't it? Because I don't have the monthly subscriptions that you guys have. So it's just like, well, to be fair, yeah, it is what it is. I was about to go into details. I probably shouldn't online, but yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, I was annoyed, and after that as well, like I said, got into a huge argument with my old man about also. But that's
Yeah, I think also argument is for a pod alone.
yeah,
Yeah.
cool,
So,
cool.
Moving
And
on.
you
Then.
guys can have the I won't be on the pod because, like I said, for me it's spilt milk. It's done. There's no point crying about it. Oh, this if when that whole period when we were winning, won the FA, no one was even breathing a breath. Or where's Ozil? Blah, blah, blah. No one. But
Great player. He's a great player, Ozil. Really great player.
was a great player.
How the
Yeah.
world works,
Great.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Pardon?
When
World
it's
Cup
going
winner.
well, all the
Mustafi's a
problems
World Cup
get
winner as
put under
well.
the carpet, don't they?
Yeah. Yeah. Mustafi's a
And
World
then
Cup
when
winner.
it goes badly, all the problems arise. It's just
And it's
how
all
life
because of
is.
Ozil.
It's
Yeah,
all
this is the
sports near
thing.
enough.
Because even like I asked you in that when you mentioned in the group chat, like, okay, bring in Ozil. Where in that 4-3-3 does he play? He doesn't.
It's
Because
not about where he.
it's
It's not
for
about
a
what he
player like
offers in the starting
Ozil.
lineup.
A player like Ozil, Wenger even said it recently in one of the interviews he's doing. You need to build the team around him, and it's not sustainable to build around a team someone like Ozil. If it's Aubameyang, I'm all for building a team around Aubameyang, right? But
Just
Ozil,
to finish, I'd like to make one point. I think Ozil, because he's still in Arsenal, but Arsenal still paying him no matter what questions, and he's not in the Premier League team, whatever. He can still come on and give 15, 20 minutes in a really tough game where Arsenal are struggling, it's a bit cagey, or they can't open up, or creativity issues. He can still offer that 20 minutes. Yes, it might not be the formation that works for him, but he can still offer that moment of brilliance coming on
okay,
for
then
10, 15 minutes. Not every
I'll
game,
then
not
challenge you
every,
with
but
this.
like,
Even under Emery, the times that he was playing, even under Arteta, that he was assisting, that he was playing, even under Arteta, I think he had very limited number of assists. So his contribution and it's the contribution where we're already doing well anyway, rather than everyone on this pod knows Ozil is not for a tough game. You don't play him in tough games. You just don't, because you're looking to be a man light in defense. So I hear all that, but at the same time, like what you're saying, being an Arsenal fan, I know the history of Ozil. Every other fan, you may see a clip of him scoring that great assist or that great play from him against Leicester. That was 3 years ago. That was the last really good thing that he did 3 years ago. Right. So yeah, moving on to Manchester United and Chelsea. Yeah, because I was just about to start going off there again. Uh, Starting with you, Corin, how did you feel the approach was? To be fair, to be honest with this, I was a little bit surprised that he went four at the back. I was expecting him to go three. Same with what Chelsea did. But how did you feel in terms of the formation and the lineup?
Yeah, I was a little bit surprised too with the four at the back. I mean, it wasn't. I mean, I nearly fell asleep during it, but I didn't. So I did see the whole match. But I mean, I think defensively, like I was pretty pleased defensively. I mean, De Gea didn't really get troubled at all. It was another great performance from Lindelof after what he did in Paris. He's another centre back that's better than some centre backs. And then, I mean, yeah, it was definitely a penalty, the Maguire incident. I'm not quite sure what he was thinking, or the referee who was reviewing the situation. But I mean, the only real chance I can remember Chelsea nearly scoring was actually when Wan-Bissaka completely fell asleep at the back post again and nearly let Pulisic in. But apart from that, I thought it was a pretty solid defensive performance.
Yeah,
Cavani looked promising as well.
yeah, because I saw it even as well with this when he came on. There was this darting. I can't remember who crossed the ball. Darting run across the front post, flicked it, and it nearly went
Yeah.
in. But
Yeah, I
anywho,
think Cavani was unlucky in that the defender he was facing was the one that knows him a lot, from PSG. So he
well,
knows he's going to
you
do
could
that
then
job.
argue that probably should be reason for him to do better, because Cavani also knows Thiago really well, so he should know
But then you
Thiago's
just get into double bluff, triple
weaknesses.
bluffs, and that you stick to what you know.
Yeah,
Yeah. First game back as well,
yeah,
First
yeah.
game back after an injury.
Yeah. No, that's fair. But Nabi, what are your thoughts and views on?
Well, similar to, I don't think De Gea made a save that wasn't a catch.
Is this you praising De Gea? No, no.
No, what I'm saying is he didn't really
He's
have
refusing.
that
He's
much
not
to
having.
do.
Sorry.
'Cause like I said, I don't think he. I don't, like I said, I don't think he had to do anything apart from catch the ball. I don't think he actually had to spring out to make a save like Mendy did. Even though I think all of Mendy's saves were saves he should have made.
Yeah, I
Which
kind of
is
felt
an
like
improvement on Kepa.
a lot of the Chelsea fans online were really bigging him up. I'm like, well, to be fair, I guess
But
like you
then when
said, if
you've
you look
had
at
an
Kepa,
incompetent
yeah,
Kepa,
when you look
yeah.
at Kepa and then you look at any, even a normal save, you know, so I was a
I
little
think
bit
that
like,
just yeah. It shows how low in regard they held Kepa that just
yeah,
simple saves will
I
get them
think
off their
we
feet.
all held Kepa in a very low
yeah,
regard.
yeah. Do you think this is going a little bit off topic? Do you think he was injured? I think Frank just didn't fancy having him in. He was like, nah, I'll put Ariza Balaga in. Not Ariza Balaga. I'll put I don't know how to pronounce his name. The former City keeper. I always struggle with his name.
Caballero.
Caballero.
Yeah.
Caballero.
On by
Caballero.
Yeah.
Willie.
Willie, yeah,
Caballero.
that's I'll just call him Willie. But yeah, I feel like he kind of, yeah, I don't know. This is probably me just entering conspiracy
Well,
theory corner right now.
Kepa's done either way, isn't he? He's done either way.
Yeah. Question
Whether
I don't
he's
know-
to
I
you
don't know
guys.
what the
Question
word-
to you guys. Sorry. Apart from Maguire, do you think the biggest waste of money above 70 million ever in the Premier League?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
The other two
yeah,
are Maguire
probably just
and
trying to-
Pogba. The other two are Maguire and Pogba.
Yeah, and to be fair, I kind of feel like if he continues this way, Pepe will be up there soon in the conversation.
Yeah.
That's such a big troll, Tanash, what you just said. I don't know whether I should even write to that. No.
no, we're not. We're not gonna get into that. 'Cause
Okay.
there's time here.
Pogba's not worth his money though, is he?
No, not Pogba. Poor Harry.
He was what, 95 million?
No, we're talking about Harry.
yeah, no.
here. We moved on to Harry.
I know, but
Yeah.
I'm just adding Pogba to the mix.
No, Pogba wasn't worth that. No.
But then again, if
At
you're
least we
honest,
all
what
agree.
player is apart from Messi and Ronaldo? You know, But-
95 million. Like it's like Sancho would be worth the 100 million that he would have
Yeah.
been bought for.
I think so.
I personally think. Obviously, we'd never know, but I personally think he would be.
I agree
Nabi?
with that.
yeah. Sorry, I think we cut you off, didn't we?
Don't know where we're going now, but I'm gonna take it back to the game.
No, yeah. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Sorry, like going back to the game. Sorry.
See, with like, I don't know what to make of Lindelof. 'Cause, like he does have great games, but he does have off games as well. I think like on the ground he's really good, but like in the air is where he kind of struggles, which is where Maguire should come in.
That's true. Yeah, that is true.
But would you not then
Similar
say
to what we have,
yeah.
to be fair. Similar to what we have.
would you not then say Maguire should then compensate for that lack of ability in the air?
Well, I think he does win, but he just recently he's obviously had all his stuff, but he is coming
Maguire
back
does
into it now.
chokeholds, doesn't he? That's what he does.
Yeah.
He didn't once. He doesn't do it all the time. He didn't once.
He was inspired by the Khabib fight that was happening later on in the evening.
He tried to choke him out.
He thought to do his own homage to it. Thought, yeah, you know what? I'm representing the UFC here.
But I think
Let's do a
that
chokehold.
happens. That happens in every game of Con. Obviously, to not that extent all
I
the way
was
around
about to
his
say,
neck, but
Nabi, you're trying to cover for your
does-
player here. It
no,
does. I do
that
agree
does
with you, though.
happen.
I do agree with you.
It does
Yeah.
not
It
fair.
does,
Look,
but the
I think
big point on
Maguire's-
this one is Harry Maguire made the header as well on top. So it didn't
Yeah.
happen away from the ball like someone else made the header. What he did also allowed him to clear the ball.
Yeah.
So
Because
it
you
made
could
it
argue
even
that
more like-
Aspilicueta could have potentially had a goal-scoring opportunity there without Maguire doing
Oh yeah,
that.
It's just-
massively.
Maguire's just having a tough time. He just wanted a little cuddle from somebody. That's all it was.
That's what it was.
Get a cuddle from your own team. That's what you do.
No,
Yeah, but so yeah, because because also as I was saying before, I was expecting Matic to come in because I wasn't expecting Matic to miss all the matches, but he has now. So I think what he's decided now, he's gone with McTominay and Fred because this is how I'm going to shore things up because he's got them
Such
kind
a
of
weak
creating a
combo,
box
though,
now.
don't you think, Nabi?
I know you don't like Scott, but
did well though at the
He's
weekend. To
really
be
good.
fair, yeah, like your midfield did
Hey,
quite well.
No, they
He
gave
is-
the ball away a lot, I think.
No, that's what I was going to say. His weakness is his distribution, but obviously that he's not there for that. That's what they've got Bruno and Pogba for. He's there to stop the opposition, which he does well with Fred.
Like Flamini.
He's got them. Did Flamini do that?
Yeah, Flamini and I forgot Coquelin for Arsenal. It literally all they would do is just win the ball, give it to Fabregas, win the ball, give it to Santi Cazorla. Like he was in there to win the ball and then give it to the people who can actually distribute the ball.
It just begs the question again, you've got a £40 million signing on the bench, and Van der Beek is just he must just be sitting there wondering, well, why on earth am I here if I'm not getting played in these games? I kind of worry he's just going to do the same with Cavani.
Yeah, I would
think,
question why I'm not on the pitch.
I think people overreacting with Donny. Donny's there for the long game. He's there for it's supposed to be for the season.
But he's played
season
well
squad.
to be in that starting lineup.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's now coming down to the point that you were making with the keepers, Nabi, that other players are coming in, they'll do well, but Solskjaer is not changing his lineup for some reason. Like he just won't.
Yeah.
Instead of playing players based on form, I don't actually know what he's playing them based on, like their star sign or
but
something. I don't know.
Donny deserves to be in. But what he's had to put in McTominay and Fred because of the way things have gone before. So that's 2 slots already taken up. He's had, because obviously that has worked in shoring up the defense and not having so many chances against him. That's something he's had to do. So that leaves another 1 position out of 3. So you've got Pogba, Fernandes, and Van de Beek competing for 1 position, and obviously Fernandes of the 3 is the one most informed, being the most influential. Obviously, he wins us all the penalties and scores nearly all of them.
Did you guys know there's a thread on the Man United fan forums that I think it's titled something like, "What does Dan James actually do?"
What does he do?
He runs. He's
Well, we
really
don't
quick.
know.
That's the only thing. He should have been a sprinter rather than a
He
footballer.
doesn't even do that anymore, though. He really doesn't even do that.
It's an enigma. Nobody knows what he does.
He is a bit lost, but I think he will come. He just needs to develop his game.
Navi, you need to remember
he just needs to develop his game.
No, he's not like an 18-year-old up and coming kid. He's like, what, 23 or something, and he's not even looking nearly ready for the Premier League.
I think
he's not that young.
Nabi wants to put him in the Lingard bracket. He'll be 29 and he's still up and coming. He still has potential. He'll come good.
Lingard's a lot better.
Yeah,
a lot better than Dan James.
That's harsh on Dan James. But on the Lingard thing, I think that's what Van de Beek's there for. So as the season goes on, when he's looking at who he can bring on, he wants better options than Lingard, which is why he's got Van de Beek there. So I think over the season, it will come through
someone who could provide balance in midfield.
Will just be better quality to bring on than what they've had, and to rotate.
Isn't he someone who can play all 3 positions in the midfield as well?
Yeah, I think that's what he did at Ajax. So that's how he's a better quality.
I just feel like Solskjaer's going to ruin him.
Yeah.
Solskjaer's going to ruin him, in my opinion.
Ruin him how?
Not playing him.
I hope not, but when you're watching, he didn't even get off the bench for such a big game when it was such a boring 0-0, near enough. There was the odd chance and stuff late on, but it was so boring. He's not getting on. He does offer some creativity. Yeah, you got Fred and Scott McTominay starting.
Who was the third sub, Corin? Do you know who the third sub was?
Greenwood.
Yeah, so they brought on Pogba, who is the big World Cup winner, 90 million signing. Then he brought on Cavani, new striker, and he brought on Greenwood, who's also an attacking option. So it's not like he brought in a less attacking option.
He's not started any Premier League games though,
and he's made a big impact when he has come on.
Yep.
As well. So I feel like he's pushing, and you'd think, oh, soon enough he'll start. He's done well when he's come on. He's had 20 minutes. He's been really big influence. He's got an assist or a goal, and you're like, okay, next game I feel like he's starting. Next minute he just sat on the bench, and you got Fred and McTominay in the midfield, and it's just
but he needs Fred and McTominay to get settled things.
United aren't Liverpool, are they? United aren't in a position where they can leave the quality of Van de Beek on the bench like we could do that. They're not in that position. I just can't see why he doesn't start or play a player of his quality.
He'll get his time. That's all I'm going to say. He'll get his time. But on the match, I think United had the better chances, and they should have. Rashford should have scored his first chance, when Mendy was out of his goal, and he just kind of could have done anything, gone round him, dinked him, taken a bit more time.
Yeah, I do agree.
Overall, are you happy with it? Are you guys happy, both of you, with the
Clean
result
sheet
and
and
the
a draw against
performance?
Yeah.
Chelsea at home.
It's not the best.
I wouldn't say we're happy, but I think they had the better chances. They're doing better than they are. I think you have no reasons to be too unhappy.
It's better than 6-1.
Yeah, that's true.
True.
That's true. Or 7-2.
You've had a win against PSG since, and a 0-0 draw against Chelsea, which is a clean sheet as well. So it's
And
promising.
Newcastle as well.
And you've
Newcastle as
got
well.
Leipzig.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Newcastle win as well. So, and then you got Leipzig, Arsenal, and Everton come up next. So still 3 more big tests coming up.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
3 games have done well so far. Well,
Yep.
And Chelsea
I think
set
if
up really
United win the
defensive.
next one,
Yeah, Chelsea
if
did.
United win the next one, United will go above Chelsea and Arsenal, won't they? They're going to 10 points or something. I know it's early on in the season, but they're not that far
They're still a
behind,
game
even though they're
behind,
like
aren't they?
15th.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and they
because they're
still have a
showing
game
us
in hand as
15th,
well.
but yeah, they have the game in hand.
Yeah, they're 1 point behind Man City, who everyone are saying are going to win the league because Van Dijk's out.
I'm not convinced on that. I'm not convinced on that at all. Yeah, because for them they need to
But
start
yeah,
winning games. They're not
but
even winning games for them to win the league. That's the issue with City.
yeah.
Yeah,
But as Nabi's point about Chelsea, yeah, I thought they were very defensive. It looks
yeah,
like they
I
have
agree.
similar issues to Arsenal, where they're just focusing so much on just making sure they get the clean sheet. That's what it looks
Yeah,
like.
but for Chelsea it's even more of a myth because they have more quality in attack than Arsenal. So I don't
Oh, they have
understand.
so much
Yeah,
quality in
so
attack.
I truly don't understand that that stance, that position, because in that game it seemed like Lampard all he wanted was just a clean sheet, just to have that monkey off his back to be like, okay, we've got a clean sheet in the league. But it came at the cost of his team actually playing well. I
Yeah, and
kind
that's
of
2
think
games in a row now with
Mhm.
Sevilla and United, where they've kept the clean sheet, but
the
they've lost
performance,
everything they had going forward.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
So
it'd be
yeah,
interesting to see
I do think
how they get that balance too.
what you're saying, that it could potentially be very similar to Arsenal in the sense that defense is being shored up, but the attack it's not.
Was that Chelsea's 4th draw this season?
It was not third.
So they've had a Brom draw, they've had United draw.
Southampton, and did they draw with West Brom or did
Oh,
they win
West
that
Brom.
game?
Sorry, yeah,
They
they
drew
did
with West Brom,
3-3.
yeah.
Yeah,
3-3, yeah.
2 3-3s and 2 0-0s.
yeah.
Is that right?
I think there might be.
It's
I have
looking
a
very
feeling there's
close
another.
amongst these teams.
I have a feeling there might be another 0-0 in there. I'm not sure.
I don't know really.
Is
I know
this,
recently they've had 0-0s, but
is this Premier League games or all games?
All games.
All game.
yeah, they've had the Sevilla 0-0.
Yeah.
So
Anyway, fair enough. But yeah, we're just agreeing with you now, but that we do feel that Chelsea went extremely defensive this game.
Yeah, I
But,
think after that game, I think the Chelsea fans probably should be a bit more worried than the United fans.
I think both should be as worried as each other, really.
Yeah. I guess now before we move on, anyone else got any final thoughts on the United game? Nope. Okay.
No, I don't think so. No.
Since I was gonna move to fantasy and predictions as well. So what we'll do, just quickly take predictions. For Liverpool, West Ham, United, Arsenal.
Well, you're taking predictions. We still have the next one, don't we?
What?
This
Got
is
a pre-weekend pod coming up next.
this is the post-match pod.
Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. I'm honestly all over the place. I'm still hurting from the Arsenal loss. I've not been thinking
But
straight.
we can
this
discuss
week.
fantasy football. We can discuss how
Yeah,
the weekend went fantasy football wise.
yeah. So in regards to,
I don't know who wants to go first up.
yeah, I can go first. Get my misery out the way. In terms of fantasy football, to be fair, I didn't do as great as I did, but I was above average, so I guess that counts for something. Um,
What did you get?
I got 58 points in total. Son saved my week,
Better
honestly.
than me.
Son saved my week.
Better than me.
Yeah. Yeah. Essentially, Dinya done me because I had him. He got a red card, and the players that really
Yeah,
contributed
tell me about it.
were Son, Costa, Jimenez, and Ings. Those are the only players that got above 3 points. Everyone else was below.
Oh, Son
3.
being your captain, like, kind of sorted out.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was gonna ask, are you now? Because one thing that I've noticed, I was thinking about this actually when I saw the result that they won yesterday, and everyone started again. I know we said fantasy football. Like, oh, I saw Carragher. Like, the question, oh, could they win the league? I don't know if you guys noticed this. Dating back, I don't even know how many years. Spurs will have a hot run where they're playing really well, and then everyone's like, oh, they're gonna win the league. They're gonna do. Oh, they'll definitely be challenged, and then they'll just dip. It started off at the start of the season because even to the point where Shabs was like after the United game they're like, oh, they could be could they be dark horses for the league, and I was like, no, they're Spurs. And then I think they drew the next game when they were leading 3-0 with like 8 minutes to go or something like that. So just to go around the I guess round Europe really, Shabs, do you think Tottenham will win the league? You already know my thoughts.
Well, I'm not saying they will win the league, but if there was going to be a surprise team to win the league, I would put mine as Spurs. Yeah,
Corin?
Spurs or Everton will be my surprise team.
I think that the situation with Spurs at the moment is completely different to anything we've seen with them before. I think they easily have one of the best squads in the league at the moment. I think winning the league. I mean, I wouldn't say. I mean, I think they could. I'm not sure I would go as far to say as I think they will, but I mean, they've
I think we're not on
easily got.
about will though, are we?
Yeah,
G? About the
exactly,
surprise
yeah.
package.
I don't think it would be
We're
a
putting them as a
surprise
surprise
necessarily.
package.
The only surprise would be that they've never won it before. That would be the only surprise. A squad that is a squad that could win the league. It's not a surprise in that respect.
It's
No, I
them
think
being
I think
Spurs that actually gives the doubts on it, really.
I think
No,
this
but
season
a
will be
squad, I'm not
different.
sure. I would say
That's all I'll say.
starting 11, yeah, they could win the league, but then outside of that, I do feel that it kind of drops a bit in terms of the quality.
They've got
Obviously,
a better squad apart from Liverpool,
They
Man
have the
City,
they have the
and
third
Chelsea.
best
I'd say.
squad. I think they've got the third best squad in the league. I think because they've had a whole season. I think they've probably got a higher team cohesion than Chelsea do, who have just got this bucket load of new
Oh,
players.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair.
So yeah, I think Spurs have got the. I think they. I mean, I think at the beginning of the season I put them to finish third, and who knows? I reckon they could. I wouldn't put it past them to finish higher, but I think third probably.
Do you think they have depth in midfield?
mm-mm.
Yeah.
Well, I guess
Okay.
Lo Celso's not been
Compared
playing,
to,
has
like,
he?
in comparison to other sides, you got Lo Celso, you got Ndombele, who's looking much better this season. You've got Harry Winks, you've got Momo Sissoko, you've got Højbjerg they've bought.
Yeah,
Like
Højbjerg
the
is
depth is
brilliant,
there in comparison
brilliant
in a lot to a lot of other teams, aren't there? Like even you must be able to admit that third best squad, or you could probably question
Don't have to admit
fourth leg.
anything.
Obviously, you
Don't
couldn't
have to
say
admit
like,
anything.
so you
I
wouldn't put them as
literally-
one of the best squads.
Literally don't have to admit anything. Your opinion is
Not
yours.
even
But
that
would you
they've-
put them as one of the best squads? Would you put them as one
Don't
of the
have
best
to put
squads in
them
the league?
against as anything. You know my thoughts on Spurs, and they're not
Not even
changing.
the front three. You're not even gonna compliment their front three.
They have good individual players in the front three. Yeah, can't deny that.
They got a good partnership in Son and Kane. You can't even say individuals, really.
Anyway,
But
Nabi, we hadn't come to you to hear your thoughts on that.
Is it Spurs or fantasy? Now, since you've changed
Spurs.
it? I think Spurs I think they do have the capability of doing well. I don't think they'd be winning the league, but they'll be possibly winning the league within the next few years.
Fair.
They're set
surprised this
top
season.
Do- okay.
Would you put them
They're
as
set top.
Say
put
say
Spurs in
say,
there?
say 2 years go by, still haven't won the league. Do you think Kane is staying? Do you think? Because for me, if they don't this season, I would say not that it's their best chance, but with Gareth Bale in the season, I'd probably say yeah, it is probably in that sense. But I don't know. Like I'm saying, with 2 seasons go by, they still haven't won the league, still haven't won anything. I don't see Harry Kane staying, regardless how good the group is, how well they all feel together. Because that's Harry Kane now, 2 years old. How old is he now even?
27.
Yeah, so that'll be him at 29, and he still hasn't won anything. And it can't even deny he is one of the best strikers in the world. And you will literally go down as one of the best, or the best striker to never win a single trophy in his career, apart from the Audi Cup, I think it was, isn't that the one or something like that? But anyway, sorry, going back to
But
fantasy.
Yeah, but
Oh, sorry, guys, you want to say?
I was just gonna say quickly that this is Mourinho, and we're seeing at Spurs what happens when you give Mourinho, when the board gives Mourinho the support that he deserves and the players that he wants, and I don't see why he won't be able to win the league with Spurs. I think if anybody can, Mourinho definitely can.
I will put my flag here. He is never going to win the league with Spurs. Um, anyway, moving on back to fantasy. Sorry. Um, yeah, mine was quite. But I think this. Oh, it's a Friday change again. I keep on saying like the last I think month I've been saying, oh, I'm going to use my fantasy this week. I'm going to use my fantasy my
Your wild card.
wild card this week. But I think this time I definitely will because yeah. The thing is, I always end up remembering just before the deadline, so I always leave it because I don't want to rush. But this time, yeah, I've been thinking about it for a while now. Yeah, I will definitely be using my wild card this week. And yeah, going on to you, Shabs, I guess. What's your take? How did you do last week?
So I got 51 points. The only one big downfall is that I took out Bamford in the weekend that he got a hat trick.
That's worse than
So,
me taking
otherwise,
out
all
Werner.
good.
That's worse than me taking out Werner that week as well. But-
Yeah, but you know, it is what it is. I brought in Kane. He got an assist. My captain was fine based on the points in my team. My captain Mane, he got 2 assists. But yeah, it was okay. It obviously just wasn't. Could have been better had I kept Bamford, but it is what it is. You make the decisions. They always seem right until it all goes wrong, don't they?
Yeah. How about you, Corin? How did you do this week?
I mean, it was a bad week. It was bad that I didn't even bother to check what my final total was.
That bad of a week.
I got one.
Worse
oh,
than 51.
One goal. Yeah. I
It
got
was-
one goal in my squad.
It was 35.
Okay, thanks, Nolly.
It was
And
35.
yeah, one goal in the squad. After that, most points came from my goalkeeper.
wow.
I mean, yeah, it was a bad week, but I've rung the changes already. I've made 3 transfers already, so hopefully
You're
that
not
will.
going to see what the champions in the Champions League first in case
Could
of
get
No,
injuries.
there could be, but Kane and Son's price was going up, so I needed to act before I got priced out of those moves. So I've done that.
Oh, fair enough.
And I'm not sure if Kane will even play that Europa League game. Mourinho
Probably
knows
not.
what he's doing, so I think he'll keep the squad nice and fresh.
Yeah. He has a very good squad to be able to do
They
that anyway.
finally
Nabi,
have
how
a
about you?
backup now for Kane, don't they?
Sorry,
That's right.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
they what?
They finally have a backup for Kane.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, on my fantasy, I did okay. I got 52. Big pointers were Son and Zaha. Salah was a big letdown. I was hoping he'd really boost me up. But
Who was your
I think
captain?
I'm happy.
Salah.
Captain was Salah.
Oh,
I'm happy with my squad. I had points on the bench, but I think that's a good thing because they're all 4.5ers as well. So I think hopefully going forward that will help me out.
Yeah.
Didn't need
You're in the
this
lead
week.
though in terms of our one, so
Yeah, so I'm happy with my squad at the moment.
yeah, I'm definitely not happy with it. So yeah, we'll have a look. But yeah, hopefully next game week I'll be a little bit more cheery. But yeah, I've just been really down.
probably
Hopefully
not.
not.
Pardon?
You got United
Hopefully not.
game. You got Arsenal United.
Yeah, United better than not better than Leicester. But yeah, we shall see. To be fair, the only thing I would say that's gone for United is the fact that it's at Old Trafford. We don't tend to travel well against the big six, do we? But
No.
anywho, I do feel like this year is the year. No, I don't. I'm just trying to bring my spirits up there. But I think we'll end it there. Thank you very much, guys, for tuning in, and thank you very much, Corin. for jumping on with us for the pre and post game. We'll see
My
if
pleasure.
we could potentially have you on for the United one as well, and then we'll see if then we might get a chance to properly delve into these centre backs, because that is one that I still think will be an interesting conversation to have. But yeah,
Yeah,
thank
I'm
you.
just gonna wait until Maguire has another shocker.
That's literally. I'm waiting for that. Then I'll invite you back on. to be like,
Yeah.
But thank you very much for coming on, and thank you very much for listening and tuning in. And as we've said before, our socials will be in the description, so please make sure you follow, you like, and you interact with us on Twitter and on Instagram as well. Thank you very much. Tonana. Stopping recording. Thank you very much, guys. That was a lot better now, Nabi, wasn't it? I know it wasn't an hour exactly, but an hour and 12 minutes.
Yeah, that's acceptable. I'd say.
Yeah. And I didn't even talk about Tierney. I didn't talk about Lacazette. I didn't talk about David Luiz properly. Didn't really get into Xhaka, Ceballos, Partey.
You should just record your own episode then. You're gonna get into all of it.
Yeah, I think I might actually do
Yeah, I
that.
feel like you need an Arsenal
Where I just
episode yourself.
vent, where I literally just let it all
Yeah.
out there. And then at the end, I'll just be like, fuck also. But yeah. Thank you very much, guys.
Okay.
If you can, please send your suggestions for the title and the descriptions as well. It'd be greatly appreciated. You guys jumping onto the gulag?
We're watching the
Jumping
Liverpool
onto
game,
the
and then I'm playing football.
No. No, I was in the gulag. Sorry, COD.
Warzone, yeah.
Nabi?
Yeah,
You
maybe.
after dinner, yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna grab something to eat first as well, and then jump on after.
All right.
Okay,
Good
guys.
luck,
Well, have a
guys.
good evening.
You too, Corin.
Cheers for joining us, Corin.
Yep. See you guys later. Bye.
Adios.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.